Hey gun people! Breaking news. Nuclear attack is imminent. Here, what's that noise? Look, over there, the big flash. Don't look, you big dummy! What do you do in case of a nuclear attack? You know, we got a lot of issues going on with the country right now. I don't like scaring and doing all this fear mongering and trying to glamorize being prepared, but look, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Even if there is a nuclear attack, there's going to be some survivors. Do we want a nuclear war? Shit, no, man. In the military, they're always showing us these pictures of the nuclear tests and the results of the bombs, and in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and all the people that died years. I mean, look, nuclear warfare is nothing to take lightly. Before I forget, everybody keeps asking about this damn holster. I swear, I got more people worried. I don't know what they look at this videos, but all my videos, if they see this thing go, woo, this holster moved. Woo, it's not secure. Woo, you gotta get rid of it. Look, it's a holster. It holds a gun. It's fine. It isn't doing anything. Somebody asked if I could run. I'm in Crocs. Yes, I can run. Yes, I can run with a holster. Good. I mean, everybody's just like, your leg's gonna fall off. What do you do? Come on, people. It ain't about the holster. But anyway, back to the nuclear weapon here. I've been getting so many damn questions about a holster. I had to cover that. So, look, on a nuclear issue, what do you do? I mean, I was just reading news the other day, and there's a couple fake articles out there about, ooh, Russia's upgrading. Russia's threatening. The U.S. just dropped their DEFCON. DEFCON is defense condition. I don't even know if they still use it. I heard that they changed the defense condition to something else. So, if they did change it, I don't know what it is. Somebody in the military, they want to say they changed it. I don't think it's classified on what condition we're in. I just don't know why the government makes it such secret that the stupid tax-paying citizens who's funding all this crap can't know what his government's up to and what condition we're in. So, I don't think the threat condition lowered, but there is a lot of talk and a lot of chatter in Russia and in China about the nuclear option if the U.S. sticks their nose in Syria. China's pissed off about some islands, international waters, who owns this, who owns that. All kind of issues going on right now. And again, I said it before, I'll say it again, when the people don't control their government, another government will come in and control it for them. So, if Russia gets out of hand, tosses a nuke, we're going to toss some nukes their way. China may throw a few our way. We may throw a few toward China. North Korea will throw a few to South Korea. South Korea will throw a few to North Korea. Iran will get in the mix if they can't. Look, there's a lot of nuclear powers out there. And, you know, there's a lot of people that say no one else should have nukes, we should get rid of them. To me, that's like gun control. Okay? I mean, if a country wants nukes, who the hell are we or Russia or someone else say, no, you can't have them? So we're the only ones with the nukes. So we can control, impose, and abuse you because we have nukes and you don't. And that's exactly what they do with guns. Only the government should have guns so we can do what we want and you have no ability to fight back. So I'm not a big fan of telling these other countries they can't have nukes. I think there ought to be consequences. I think we ought to watch them, and if they got nukes, then we prepare. But you don't put up no nuke signs around the world and think everybody's going to be safe. I mean, I'm always saying, if the government is so good about gun control, when they give up their guns, I'll happily give up mine. It ain't going to happen. The only reason I say that is because I know it's not. The government will never give up their guns. And those countries that say other people can't have nukes, as soon as they give up their nukes, then maybe they can tell other people they can't have nukes. So let's get back to the theory of this thing, because I'm jumping around like usual. What do you do if there's a nuclear bomb? Does anybody have a plan out there? I mean, if a nuke happens, there's all kind of things that happen very quickly, and you have to understand that. And you can read most of this online. In the military, they kind of forced it a lot because we were more likely to hit. We were on a base. We were by nuclear threats. If we were at a nuke base, we knew that we were probably a target. We would probably get hit. So we had bunkers and underground, and we had water supply and food supply, and we could make it for several days until some of the fallout happened. So for those people who aren't in the military and never have any idea about nukes, except maybe listening to a little left media that's going to say nukes is a result of Black Lives Matter and sexism, and we need to push the liberal agenda and global warming, and you know, they want to blame it. Like, look, a nuclear weapon's pretty simple. Blows up fast, it does a lot of destruction, it creates a lot of heat, it creates a lot of fallout, and it destroys pretty much everything in its path, and it continues to kill for years later. So when a first nuke happens, the biggest thing that I see about nukes is if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know to look away and don't stare at it. And it's natural when you hear a big boom to go, what the hell was that? And look. And first of all, you'll be blinded if you stare at a nuke. The light is so flash. Second of all, if you don't know how far it is, how close it is, you should be planning to get, again, I'm always saying distance is your friend. Distance gives you time, it gives you protection, it gives you time to think, it creates a buffer. With nuclear weapons, same thing. It goes time, distance, and shielding. You want all those things. So when a nuke blows up, what happens? Well, it creates a fireball, and the fireball heats up to some umpteen thousand degrees and burns everything in its path. How far does a fireball? Depending on how big the nuke is. Depending on if it's flat ground or if it's airburst. Nukes can blow up either in the air, on the ground, or submersible. They can go under the water and blow up in case take out submarines, etc. So there's three types of bursts for nukes. Which one is more dangerous? Depends how close you are. They're all dangerous if you're close. You know, luck only, or what was that saying go? Luck only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear weapons. You don't have to be that accurate. You just got to be somewhere in a general area. So you don't want to look at the flash, you don't want to look at the thing, you want to start planning. It can take, depending on how far you are away, 20, 30 miles before the blast can get to you. Now, when that heat burns up and it's that big glow, of course it throws up dust and dirt and debris and buildings. I mean, there was no nuke on the Twin Towers, but everybody remembers when those two buildings fell, the dust ball that just flooded New York. Well, when a nuke blows up, that dust ball is blown in the air, and then all that dust comes down, and when that dust gets on you, it's radioactive, and it's going to cause burns, and any exposed skin is going to be burned. And again, depending on how close you are, or if you're downwind. I talk about upwind and downwind when you're working with dogs. You're downwind, the wind's blowing someone else's scent to you. If you're upwind, then the scent is being blown away from you. I think I just screwed up. I don't know. I'm always talking this stuff and I don't really read it and kind of refresh my memory. But you don't want to be downwind of a blast. Because if you're downwind where the wind blows and it blows to you, if the nuke's here, the wind's blowing this way and you're here, you may not be close enough for all this dust and debris that's thrown up miles in the air to affect you immediately, but as the wind carries it and it sprinkles just like it does on a volcano, the ash that covers, well, radioactive dust and debris, you can't see it, you can't smell it, and you may not know what's coming down on you. So you need shielding, you need protection, you need to be out of the elements, especially if you're downwind where the wind is being blown toward you and all the fallout's being found. You need to get in some shelter and you don't need to come outside. Now, if you can get away from the flash and not being blinded, because you don't look like most people will, because you're going to be blinded. If you can get away from the winds that will travel at 600 miles an hour and destroy pretty much everything in its path. So, I mean, when you get a 600-mile wind scattering, things tend to crash, fall, debris. You know, I say this a lot. The 50 caliber gun, it does more damage from flying debris, kills more people than the bullet itself. Because it's traveling so big and so fast, when it hits a rock and that cinder block scatters, all those little pieces kill more people than that one bullet did. So when a nuke blows up, all the debris and bricks and glass and trees and wood and telephone poles and wires and everything that's flying through the air at 600 miles an hour, you're screwed if you don't have shelter. Now that's just part of the blast. Then you have the invisible EMP. Okay, electromagnetic pulse, I think is what it's called. And what that is basically it's like a shock wave or a big flash. It's faster than lightning, more powerful than lightning, and when it hits, it scatters out and it fries pretty much everything electronic in its path. And again, same way you protect your electronics, shielding, distance, time, how close you are to it, what kind of shielding you have. Is it metal, concrete, ground? I mean, underground's really good. If you're at a nuclear blast, is it ground zero or close? Being underground ain't gonna help you. You're dead anyway. So if you're far enough away and you can get underground, I like concrete, brick, solid things. That's gonna stop. The stronger the material, the thicker the material, the less likely the rays go through. I think nuclear blast brings out, I think, 3 rays. I think it's alpha, beta, and gamma. I think alpha and beta is not really the big threat because you've got to be pretty close. I think gamma is the one that travels the farthest, hangs around the longest. But understanding that when a nuke goes off, just because you're not next to it, knowing which way the wind's blowing, knowing which way the fallout's going to be, is there a storm that's going to bring down the fallout with the rain? Is it going to contaminate the water supply? Is it going to contaminate the food supply for your animals because they're going to eat the grass and it's radioactive? I mean, all these things you can't plan in 3 seconds and go, oh shit, there's a nuke, let me start running through my checklist. So having some sort of, I mean, you can't plan to live your life that there's going to be a nuke going off, but you need to know that if a nuke does go off, do you have a plan to get to home base? What's your plan? Where do you go? How do you contact people that aren't with you? Is there a plan that you will meet, that you will all come back, that you will gather? You know, I mean, I've never been a fan of going out and chasing and looking for somebody in a crisis, because rarely do you find them. Communications are down. You don't know where they last were. Even if you do, unless you told them, stand there and wait, I will come get you, then I'm not a big fan of going out there and just, you know, shitting in one hand and wishing in the other that I may find you, because it just normally doesn't work out. But if that's your plan, hey, if we're separated and somebody wants to tell their wife, wherever you're at, stay, I'll find you. If you know where they're at, if you know they're going to stay, if you know they're protected there, if you know they didn't have to run or leave, if you know the government didn't snag them, if you know a crowd didn't say, come with us and grab her, if you know all those answers, then you can go find them maybe. But, I mean, ideally, I kind of like the idea of you need to get to home base. Your job is to get to home base. And however you got to get there, you got to get there. Well, you got to steal a car, cut someone's head off, shoot somebody in the back, whatever you need to do, you need to get home. So that's one plan. I'm not saying you got to work it and that's what everybody works, but people need to talk about this, and nobody wants to talk about it because it's death, destruction, it's evil, it's demoralizing, it puts a bummer on the day. Nobody wants to discuss it, and it's just easier to have a drink, enjoy life, and forget the bullshit. And you know what? If that's what you want to do, that's cool. You're probably not going to be on this channel anyway, because I am trying to promote preparedness, thinking, critical thinking, advising the sheep and the taxpayers from my government experience on what the government won't tell you and won't allow people in the government. I could not do these videos if I was still working. The government wouldn't allow it. So people are like, oh, no one else says this. If this was true, I'm just telling you. And most people that get out go, you know what, screw it. I don't need the bullshit. I don't need negative comments. I don't need the hate comment. I don't need the emails. I don't need all the bullshit that comes with trying to help sheep, because there's always that certain percentage that just want to attack and be trolls and be a pain in the ass. But, you know, it comes with turf. I don't give a shit, because I've been taking that shit my whole life anyway, so I guess I just kind of, I don't give a shit. So, nuclear weapon. Have a plan. Understand. You're shielding. Now, there's some people who have bunkers, some people, the best place to be in a nuke, even if it's far away, and that's, I think, a big misconception with nuclear weapons, that if I'm not at ground zero, I don't really have to worry about it. And that's not true with nukes. If you're downwind, you're screwed. If you're in a blast area, you're screwed. The EMP's going to hit you. The fallout may hit you. I mean, there's all kind of aftermath that's going to happen. It's going to take down the grid. It's going to take down electricity. It's going to take out water pumps. You're not going to have running water. I mean, there's all kind of things that you may think, it doesn't affect me if it doesn't hit me. Well, I mean, I'm just telling you things that you can kind of consider, think about. You can't plan for everything, but at least to have some kind of tools in your toolbox to go, man, with all the talk about nukes and with all the crazy government, and our government's out of control, we don't know what the hell they're doing, CIA, NSA, FBI, ABC, freaking DEA, whatever. You don't know what the hell your government's doing. You have no control, and you know what? you're a victim looking for a place to happen. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it except prepare, arm yourself, make sure you have guns and ammo so you can protect yours and your property and your people. And you know what? That's all you can do. I mean, we've already lost control of the country. We've lost control of our government. Our government doesn't have control of the world or anybody else. Russia doesn't have control of the world. They have their government. But they all have weapons, and you know, sooner or later, the two biggest bullies on the block are going to fight. So, maybe you want to read up on nukes, maybe you want to ignore it, maybe you don't. And I didn't even research this on Google to see how many, or YouTube to see how many nuclear advice or videos there are, but I would give you my perspective. And in the military, they always taught us, get down, get low, get behind a hill. If the bomb's here, and the fallout's coming here, and the windshield's coming here, don't look at the flash. And if there's a hill, if you get close to this hill, the fallout and the wind blast and the heat will go over you, and you'll have a better chance to survive if you can put a hill or earth between the pressure of the wind. Now remember, the wind, there's two different things. The first wind goes out in a circle, so it goes everywhere. The second fallout wind depends on the atmosphere, on which way the jet stream is and where the wind's blowing and where the current's carrying it, whatever. So there's two different winds, but the initial big blast, you want to get behind something that blocks that heat and shock wave and heat shield and all the radiation, and so it will fly over you versus standing on top of a hill looking and getting the full brunt. So below ground is also good. Behind a hill, if you're on a road, you see a culvert, that's good. If there's a bridge, I mean, if the bridge is this way and you get underneath it and the wind's coming this way, it's not going to do you a whole hell of a lot of good. Now, if the bridge is this way and you get underneath it and there's earth and concrete over here and the wind is coming this way, you're going to have some protection by getting under that bridge. Again, common sense and thinking. You can't just take everything independently. It's totality of circumstances. Put things together. Form a freaking thought instead of repeating the liberal mush. Blame George Bush. It's the Republicans' fault. Global warming, feminism, Black Lives Matter. Hillary's great because she has titties. Come on, people. Wake up and start thinking for yourself. A nuke it's possible. I don't know how likely it is. I don't know what percentage it is, but you know what? Country's a mess right now, and you know, being aware of it, having some understanding of it, maybe this will spark you to go read, search it a little bit, how to survive a fallout, how to wash off, you know, ash, how to get rid of clothing, how to have long sleeve shirts and gloves on versus nothing. You have a short sleeve shirt on, fallout's going to affect you a lot more than you have a long sleeve. You got a scarf on, then you on how to dispose of that, or how to wash that, or how to shake it, or how to wash your skin. Soap and water will rinse off a lot of the radioactive dust or fallout. You know, if it burns you in your clothes and it's really hot, you're not going to be able to. There's all kind of issues with nuclear weapons, nuclear fallout, radiation poisoning, radiation burns. That, I mean, it's a huge topic. I mean, I don't know how long they taught us in the military, but we're always getting refresher and upgraded. And then, you know, you have your biochemical engineering, your chemical weapons, then your bio-warfare training, then your nuclear training, then your regular armed assault training. So you're always in the military getting bombarded with all these stinking trainings. You're not an expert in all of them, but at least you have some knowledge and some that will help you survive, and that's the key. You got to make it to the next day, or, I mean, what's the point? So, that's my spiel on nuclear weapons. Hopefully you got something. If you got any questions, I'll try to answer them in a memo, and we'll go from there. Obama flag, soon you will be gone.